Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Alleycat Creations. How are you? And that is Odin. I got a nice present from somebody. Thank you for the PetSmart gift card. He got a bow tie with a bell collar. So cute. Hi, everybody. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, Connect the Dot, an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description below this video. And I got pyramids and hearts and a lot of artwork. I just put that stuff up on the website, alisonkatz.com. That's how you can support me. Private, so you're only seeing a portfolio. If you see anything, email me. That's also in the links, and it's also on the website. If you're interested in anything or you want something customized. I just want to thank the Patriots who stepped up to help me with the adoption of Odin and Freya. Freya, I put the cutest little bat bow tie. It was there's like no girl bow ties, and it was Halloween one, and I was like, okay, that fits her. She's a little skittish, so she's probably under the bed. But I let them free, and look at my little guy. And I really thank everybody because I really needed it. I really, really needed this. Hermit's Journey, here we are. Hermit's Journey. Yeah. Fourth rock bottom, free falling rock bottom. If it wasn't for the support of people, I'm back where I am 2 years ago, pretty much. I have some options, but I start work in a few days. So I'm waiting to see like how that goes, what is going to happen, and how things are going to move forward. Yeah, the people revving the motorcycles, baby. It's been rough. But this time around, I'm not really stressing it. I'm giving it to the universe to handle. And without the help of people stepping up, I wouldn't have been able to afford to adopt the two babies. I rescued them from a cat cafe. When you're in the hermit zone, you're going through the dark night of the soul. It's a challenge. And instead of dwelling in that, I gave it a few days, obviously, to sit in that space and do some introspection. But when you're in that mental mind space, it's always good to change up your routines and to do things that you don't ordinarily do. So I went to a cat cafe that's literally down the block from me, and I waited a while for one cat. That cat didn't got adopted, unfortunately. And then these two were backroom kitties. They didn't come out to play with everybody. And they were in the back room, all huddled up and scared. And I met them the first time I went for the other cat. And then the second time I went, like, they showed me, like, you're my mom. They purred and pawed, and it's what I needed. Really, really what I needed. It was weird when Morgan died. It was the first time like I was utterly, utterly alone. Not in physicality. Right. And not to say, and not to disrespect my two amazing friends that are not too far away from me, but I've been a third wheel situation my entire existence for the most part, and that continues, and it feels weird once in a while when everybody's partnered up and it's just you. So, and I'm sure my situation is over. Um, I'm not going to settle for anything that less than I deserve for the most part. And, I'm still giving space. We'll see what happens. Karma, karmic. But this hermit's journey is a necessary one, and a lot of people are going through this right now. Like I said the last time, we're clearing out karmic everything from all other lifetimes, concurrent lives, simultaneous lives, and we're doing it all through this body. Because of the trauma that comes and the sadness and the dark place that we drop into, which is normal and is expected. A lot of people think that when you're love and light, nothing bad's going to happen to you. Well, no, you wrote catalysts in for yourself to hit you to a point where ultimate change starts taking place. And for me, I have to go into the deepest, darkest abyss in order for me to transform. Well, listening to a few other people, it really confirmed to me that because of all the trauma and how dark and deep we go into that state of mind, it brings in bigger and higher light and higher frequency to humanity. So it's not all for nothing. As sucky as it is and as traumatizing as it is absolutely necessary that we go through these times, and that we have to understand that we are the brightest of lights, and we're bringing in higher light and higher expansion, and that's just echoing out into your area. So it all serves a purpose. I know a lot of people have dropped off from like the chats that I'm in and the different types of chats. I just don't sit in one spot. I go a lot all over the place. And a lot of people are dropping off because I can't handle the low frequency, the low vibes, people just not wanting to participate in doing the work. And as much as we can't stand, like I have to shut most of my volume off and listen to other things as I moderate, and I just read the chat and make sure there's no trolls. A lot of people are dropping off because they're seeing the bigger picture. They're understanding a bigger paradigm that is occurring, and they're not stooping down to the lower vibratory states that most people are sitting in. And that's not giving a judgment. That's just an observation. People don't realize how hypocritical their words are and how they're all peace and love in one breath, but in the next they hate and they want people dead. And I'm not gonna lie, for real, those people do deserve a hell of a justice. But I'm not the one that's doling that out. So going within and doing me. This precious little face. So we're in this, excuse me, we're in a stage right now where the energy is very, very high. The Schumann today was spiking exponentially. It's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot of energy. I tried meditating today, going outside, trying to go into the hot tub because I ground better in water. It was hard, very difficult to ground today. Very difficult. I got a good drive in because I had to go get their this one likes to scratch carpet. Both of them are very anxious and both of them are super coming out of their shells here. And this is only like day 3. So the anxiety is still going to be there. There's still fear there. And it takes time for cats to acclimate to a new environment and new smells and new everything. I mean, yesterday's video, I swear, Freya was all over my gems and near my big copper pyramid, which isn't sturdy. So if she knocked into it, that thing is going to drop and hurt somebody. So there was a lot of distractions yesterday, but Odin's out, loves his little co-host chair. He's co-host 3, she's co-host 4. She's going to take a while to get acclimated and to, but they wanted out of the room. I tried for 2 nights, just wanted out, curious, and I just let it happen. And he did more exploring than she did. But they're so sweet. And a lot of people have been messaging me. It's been, and I have to put this out there because upstairs needs me to address this, but to everybody, I get on and listen, I don't mind when people email me, text me, message me. I'm fine with that. The last couple of days has been all day. Different people. I don't mind it. It's just it gets overwhelming when it's like the text that this that and it's like my phone is like blowing up and it's going to explode. So if I don't get back to you right away or I don't acknowledge your stuff, please don't think I'm being rude. Just know that a lot of people are going through it and a lot of people contact me and I just can't, I got to do me and I have to sometimes just breathe through it as I'm getting overloaded. So I'm also going back to work and will not be answering the messages that people send me right away because my priority now is going back to work and working on getting myself back on my feet financially. So please don't take my ignoring, I'm not ignoring. It's just, I can't at the moment. And like today, I just, holy shit. And I love when I get, it gives me great pride and joy that people want to come to me and they have questions. And I don't mind answering people. It's overwhelming when it all happens all day at once, like a million messages. So yeah, I love you all. And just give me some grace and some compassion. I will get back to people. It's just going to get a lot harder for me when I start working and get back into a schedule that I can't really maneuver around. And if I want to keep this channel and keep doing what I'm doing, it requires time, which I will have a lot less of. So we'll figure it out, but I just wanted to get that message out. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't make anything for people asking me questions. I don't charge. Maybe I should. I'm not that way. I work for Source, God, Infinite Intelligence. But at the same time, I'm not able to pay my bills and I had to have help to get cats. Like, that's not good. So I have to weigh what my options are, but I have a job starting on the 14th. I'm really excited. So I just wanted to let you guys know. But please email me. I will get back to you. It's just not, people like need instantaneous gratification like a child. Like I can't do that. But please email me. I'm more than happy to help if I can. So the journey that we're all on is very similar to what I'm going through. There's a lot of energy going on. There's a lot of like bombardment. It feels like bombardment and it's energy. Um, a lot of people are having a crazy amount of different experiences. Spirit is popping up in people. I was just on, I actually was in the middle of doing this. My aunt called from Georgia and I had to stop because I lost my train of thought, but she had something paranormal happen to her. And I know where my abilities come from, like her side of the family, but also my mother's side. So she wasn't freaked out. She was just like asking me like, what do I need to do? So I gave her some hindsight. But yeah, there's a lot of energy. Tomorrow is the 8/8 portal. I did a TikTok on this. It's another day. I'm not saying it isn't special. I'm not saying nothing's going to happen. We don't know. What are you manifesting into your life? I know that I had to drop into this dark night of the soul to clear out a lot of karma. Viking was a karmic relationship, and I don't know where I stand with him. I'm sure it's over for him in his head. I'm out of his life. That's fine. Um, not done with that yet. And I speak to one of my exes that I had a narcissistic empathic relationship, also very dark night of the soul, very karmic. But we talk and karma. Oh, it's a bastard. She's a PMSing bitch. He's probably texting me right now. Yeah. He didn't realize what was in front of him until it was gone. And it's been like 10, 13 years, really, to be honest, that we've been in a relationship. And he he's apologized sincerely. His life got hell a lot better, but he still has issues. Oh, my mama girl is out. Yay. Hopefully she makes an appearance with her new little gothic bow. We're all having these relationships, whether you're in it with somebody now, whether you're married to somebody, whether you're in a relationship, whether it's a mother, father, family member. It doesn't need to be romantic. Just let's put that out on the table. Karmic, like my parents were very karmic for me. Like I needed to learn a lot. She doesn't like her collar. Hi. She's so cute. Um, the romantic stuff is really what a lot of people would say. I'm in hermit mode because I'm not in a relationship and I need to have somebody. It's not the need to have somebody, it's what is the lesson that somebody needs to impart on you. Or you are the lesson giver. I'm usually the one that imparts the lesson. I get I get lessons too, but they're minor compared to the big collapse. And I'm usually the one that gives everybody the big collapse, but they don't see it as a big collapse until like way later. And then they're like, so know that if things are falling apart for you in your relationships, in the family, in whatever it is that is falling apart, if there is anything falling apart, it is necessary. This is like the big purge that we're all having to go through. We have to go through it. We have to make room for the new to come in. And in order for the new to come in, the old has to take its exit. And unfortunately, also with the torment and the hurt, the heaviness, that opens up more heavier light energy to come in to not only transform us, but affect everything that hits your field. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. But know that it's going to get better. And from what everybody, like, comprised of the 20 something people I listened to in the last 2 days, and like I said on my TikTok, I'm not here to judge in a negative or positive way. I just listen objectively, have my ears open. What aligns within me aligns. And this time, really not much aligned. Not to say that these people are wrong or right, but when we look at interpretations and definitions of things, we have to mature them. And when we are in a hermit mode, we don't usually have too much other people's influences affecting our definitions, our perceptions, because another person is going to give you an opinion. And when their energetic field is with you, on you, sitting in, one of my best friends was sitting in the chair with me right now, like their field affects me. When you're in a hermit mode, when you're solo, when you're by yourself with your own thoughts, you get to start at where you're at vibrationally and start defining your world differently, taking the word definitions of things and maturing them to bring it up to 5D. This is the hardest thing that everybody's going through. And when we go up into his work, it's like the same shit, right? He is the guy that wanders around the world and goes back into his cave and is as blunt as impossible about life, society, the shit that people don't think about. Zarathustra is bringing that to people, and they think he's a kooky freaking wackadoo who has no substance and nothing. And then there's a few people who actually get something from him, and then some people later on dawn, light bulb goes off. Oh yeah, that's what he said. As we saw the last time what we read, everybody was at his cave, which is all him. But we need to we're having this happen really right now, collectively. We're all separated and divided for a reason. We can't have too much light in one spot. We need it dispersed. For many of us, okay, and I'm speaking not just for myself, I'm speaking for so many people that write me and talk to me. We feel this. It's the Christ, okay? Take it Yeshua's journey. Whatever story you want to attribute to his story, okay? There's a million of them and it's all interpreted differently. And he's okay with this. Was he accepted in society? He's only accepted by a few. Okay. His teachings didn't hold weight to too many people until after. And many of us are sitting in that energy. Many of us are sitting in there right now. I feel like that. No matter how much I talk, no matter what messages I put out, and yeah, it's divine orchestration, divine timing. It still sucks. I'm human. I have feelings and emotions, right? I can't dismiss those. But a lot of us have messages and knowledge and knowing, understanding of a bigger, better paradigm. And the truth of the matter is, it's how hard the work is. Just like the messages that Yeshua left, regardless of what they were, it was ignored by a vast majority of people, whether they were inversed or not, whether they were rewritten by scribes. It doesn't necessarily matter, because he was ignored during his life. He was a threat. I come into a lot of chats and a lot of things, and I stir the fucking pot. And it's not necessarily unwelcomed, but a lot of people are not there yet to accept the truths that I drop, because they want to hear the fanciful, great, positive things that is to come, possibly. It's a potentiality. If we think that all these fanciful things are going to happen and you're going to just sit there and not do the work to get it, I don't know what to tell you. That's not how we manifest in 3D. We're not in 5D. You're a light being, and everybody's perceiving 5D differently. I'm just telling you how I perceive it. I'm in my light body. Whether I'm skipping 5 because my higher self that walked in is like upper 6, if I go to 7th grade, I don't, it doesn't matter. I just want to be in my light body. I want to be doing what I do here, but like doing it in bigger form. Once again, you can only know it for yourself and how powerful you really are if you did the work inside. A lot of people can project that's being conceited and narcissistic and prideful, but how is that if you really know what you are and you own it? People are just not ready yet, and it's going to take time. So we're all, with the portal stuff, it feels like there's this big rush that everything's going to happen and all this stuff is going to happen, when we still have a very long journey ahead of us. That's just my estimation and my looking at all potentialities and possibilities that is in front of us right now. It will happen. I'm not saying it's not. It's just not going to happen in the frame of time, linear time, that people are projecting it at. So you can continue to sit on your tushy, eat your popcorn and watch the movie, or you can be an active participant in the movie. Zarathustra walks through the book, exploring, discovering, changing the environment. Messages are different, conveying different messaging, but it's a journey of self. You could take a lot from this book as the other selves, as the other people, or you can attribute all the masks that we wear in our lives. When we go to work, we put a mask on. When we go and talk with friends and have a beer and, let loose, there's another mask that comes on. There's the intimate mask that only you and your significant other have. There's many masks that we all wear. There's nothing wrong with that. You're still being authentic. It's just, are you being your full authentic self? And this book gives you the journey of that with a lot of wisdom. A lot of people poo-poo him, but if you look outside of his belief system and what he was indoctrinated into, they're wise words. His books game changed my life. It made me view myself in a different light, in different viewpoints. I was so narrow down the tunnel vision of looking at everything as doom and gloom and everything is negative. I can't get out of this. I'm not good enough. I've never made more than a certain amount, which was like poverty level amount to societal levels. I just want to be content. I don't, you know, I haven't really ever been on a vacation just to go on a vacation. I had to go to weddings and I got a little vacation out of that, but never really was taken anywhere. Never really went outside. I've never been outside of the United States. I have never been able to travel the world. Financially, never had it. Just like I need to fix my teeth, just don't financially have it. It's what it is, and I'm fine with it. I have to come to an acceptance of the role that I chose, and that, yes, I can definitely overcome it, but it takes a village. It's not just you in your little bubble creating your universe. It is, you're creating your universe, but you put a lot of people in that universe. They put you in the universe. So it's working together in unison and coming together, unifying. I know many of us thought we found our tribes, and we still might have some core people in our tribe, but the tribe changes. It's going to continuously change until that time when everybody comes together and starts figuring out, well, what's your specialty? What's your ability? Where can we be useful? What is your service to others? And more people are going to start finding their tribe that way. So hold out some hope. Just because someone might not be awake doesn't mean that they are awake unconsciously, subconsciously. They're activating just like you are. You're just aware of it. Stop judging and criticizing people who are asleep. They're asleep consciously, but unconsciously, do you know something triggered you to wake up? And you weren't so bad into the fog of shit that you knew something was off, you just couldn't put your finger on it. This is where a lot of humanity's at. There's something off, and I can't put my finger on it just yet because the indoctrination and the brainwashing is still going on. Okay, but that doesn't mean they're not upgrading. That doesn't mean they're necessarily fully asleep. We got to focus on our own selves and stop projecting out on everybody what you think they are, because that will make it so in your paradigm. Let's be more consciously aware that in your time by yourself doing the introspective work, you have the opportunity to take your definitions of what's here and mature them and grow up. You know, Bashar says we are the graduating master class. We're no longer in kindergarten, or I don't remember exactly what he said, but something to that extent, like you're the master class. So we got to start acting that way. And if we are only giving definitions to 3D shit because those people belong in the wood chippers and those people are horrible, and what about the kids, and what about this, and what about that, and Sarah, this, that, and the other thing. This person's a tranny, and that person is female, and that one's a male, but that one's identifying as this. Why does that have anything to do in your paradigm? Unless you make it so. If that's an experience that God wants to have for itself through a person, you should only give it love unconditionally and compassion and move on. You feeding the hate and the divisiveness is going to keep you in a lower state of frequency. That separation where we need to be unified as one, the understanding where we go one, we go all, where we are all one can't apply when you are still separating it from you. That's just an aspect of your soul playing another part. You just don't comprehend the expansiveness of your soul because you're still in 3D. See how harsh the truth can get? It sucks. I got to deliver it now. You have to stop defining your life by 3D terms and mature. I'm working on it every day. It's not easy. This is not a cakewalk. This is not something that a bright flash of light is going to change within you. It's going to help seed something in you. It's going to help you transform. But it's up to you to do the work to take your 3D level of understanding and bring it up and mature it. Otherwise, you're no more awake than anybody else. You call the people sleeping, you could be asleep to so many other things and be very knowledgeable in one area. I'm not here to toot a horn or deflate somebody's love bubble. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get real because it's tough love time. I mean, everything that I've been getting channeled is to really help try to motivate you to start seeing life differently, to start understanding that it's not a choice of who is coming along with you on your ascension journey. You don't get that choice. That group of people that everybody hates, they're coming along with. Deal with it. Accept it. They're a part of us. They are our other selves. That's God playing itself in the negative polarity, but it's still God. God wins. That's great. God's dual. God's really androgynous. It's energy. But we're down here, we perceive it as dual. So it is dual. It has a pole. We have a pole, positive and negative. This lifetime, we chose the light. So when we sit and criticize all the people doing horrible things and heinous things, like we did them too in other lives. So those people that were the light were looking at us in the negative and wanting us going through the wood chippers. Would that be okay? Because that one lifetime, you needed that experience. So God can know itself better. When you detach emotionally and pull back, the bigger picture starts coming in. And that can't really be done unless you're really doing the inner work and the introspection. So I know I started this journey through the cave. We're still in the cave. Some of us are at the reflection where everything is still inversed. Some of us are looking up already and looking down at the cave from a very far high top. We're all at different stages of that Plato's cave journey. Manly P. Hall, I mean, my goodness, just story after story after story about going through the depths of fucking hell to get to the obtainment. That one where the guy is going through, like, climbing the biggest mountain ever just to get to that light, the Hermit's light, and then realizing that it wasn't divine timing for him to hold the lamp. At least he was honest with himself. But then later on, he goes back to hold that lamp and become the hermit. That's where a lot of us are at, in that stage where we're going through the climb of the mountain. It is dangerous. It is freezing. It is painstaking and difficult. And we're that close, but we're not there yet to get to the hermit that is up top with his lantern. It's up to us to take this journey by ourselves. We came into this world. We chose our parents. We chose our situation, but we chose it by ourselves with Source, which is ourselves. We chose the manner in our exit, our passing, our avatar passing, if it passes. A lot of people are going to pass, and don't take that as they're not ascending. Again, the words and definitions are here. They're not elevating up here. If somebody passes away, it's a celebration. It's a celebration. They're going first. They're going through the experience. They're getting upgraded, and they don't have a physical vehicle to feel it. Get over the fear of death. I think that's why I equate a lot of my other selves with the Vikings and that culture, and then Scandinavian culture, because reading a lot of the work, there was no fear of death. It was a journey. You want to get to Odin's Hall. You wanted to go with Freya, the Valkyrie, Archangel. You wanted to go to either one of those holes, whatever you were worthy of. And how you got there was your deeds in life. And even the normal people, they got to choose. It's all metaphor, but they got to choose. You do too. You have a choice what you want. A lot of your decisions were already chosen by yourself before you came here. You forgot about them because you got the veil. Now the veil is lifting, and you're going to start recognizing signs in your life. Make the changes in your thinking, and you can only do that unimpeded by yourself. Yeah, it helps to bounce ideas off of other people, but really sit in your field. Look at how you perceive your world and start making some changes. We're going to be all one together at one point. Don't worry. In the meantime, I'm making changes by changing up my routine. I am working out now once a day as much as I possibly can. I give myself like 1 or 2 days to like chill and relax. I'm not 20 years old and a professional dancer anymore, so I have to be mindful of my arthritis. But I'm being more active in my life. I'm going out to places where I'm being brought to clear energy out of a park by myself. I went to the cat cafe, and what did I find? I found 2 beautiful cats that I adore, that I got to rescue, and I got to save their lives. You give them a second chance. what are you doing to change up your day? You know, it's hard with the new energies, but have compassion for yourself. You know, sometimes you need to sleep in if you can afford it, or go home and take a nap. You know, you have to give yourself some space and time. And that's the troubling part by doing it by yourself, is not falling away from your own self. That dark abyss is pretty dark, but have faith that your higher self is going to be the brightest light shining that pathway opened for you to walk through. That's the biggest door. Are you walking through it? It's a good question. Will nothing beyond your capacity. There is a wicked falseness among those who will beyond their capacity, especially if they will great things. For they arouse mistrust against great things. These subtle counterfeiters and actors, until finally they are false before themselves, squinters, whited worm-eaten decay, cloaked with strong words, with display virtues, with splendid false deeds. Take good care there, you higher man, for nothing today is more precious to me and rarer than honesty. Is this today not the mob's? But the mob does not know what is great, what is small, what is straight, and honest. It is innocently crooked. It always lies. Mic drop. That's everything that's going on today. The difference is that most people feel in their heart space the lies, the deceit. They bought into it. They full-heartedly support the lie because that's all they know. They don't perceive the truth. Their truth is the lie. They're not expanding just yet. Wait, because that's why you're here. The hardest thing that a lot of us are finally getting, when you're watching other people, it's just their perception. Just like this, my channel is just my perception. You're going to have your own perception. When people feed you information, tell you their mission, and it's all a hypocrisy. Yeah, we're going to do so great things for so many people in the community. We're going to get band together and do X, Y, and Z, and nothing ever really falls to fruition. We're all actors on a stage with all our roles. Have a good mistrust today, you higher man, you step-hearted ones, you open-hearted ones, and keep your reasons secret. For this today is the mob's. What the mob once learned to believe without reasons, who could overthrow that with the reasons? And in the marketplace, one conceives with gestures, but reasons make the mob mistrustful. And if truth was virtuous for once, then ask yourself what good mistrust? What strong error fought for it? Beware of the scholars. They hate you, for they are sterile. They have cold, dried up eyes. Before them, every bird lies unplumbed. Such men boast that they do not lie. But the inability to lie is far from the love of truth. Beware. Freedom from fever is not yet knowledge by any means. I do not believe chilled spirits. Whoever is unable to lie does not know what truth is. You creators, you high men, one is pregnant only with one's own child. Do not let yourselves be guiled and beguiled. Who, after all, is your neighbor? And even if you act for the neighbor, you still do not create for him. Unlearn this for your creators. Your very virtue wants that you do nothing for and in order and because. You shall plug up your ears against these false little words. For the neighbor is only the virtue of the little people. There one says, birds of a feather, and one hand washes the other. They have neither the right nor the strength for your egoism. In your egoism, you creators, is the caution and providence of the pregnant. What no one has yet laid eyes on, the fruit, that your whole love shelters and saves and nourishes. Where your whole love is with your child, there is also your whole virtue, your work, your will, that is your neighbor. Do not let yourselves be beguiled with false values. You creators, you high men, whoever has to give birth is sick, but whoever has given birth is unclean. Ask women. One does not give birth because it is fun. Pain makes hens and poets crackle. You creators, there is much that is unclean in you. That is because you have to be mothers. He hates women, by the way. But there's some truth in that. If we take it not literal, but we've all lied, we've all followed falsehoods and really aligned with things that maybe once we thought was like genuine and virtuous and amazing, and then find out there was a lot of behind the scenes shit that we were not aware of, and whoa, back up. And it's not a disrespect in any way. It's now that you're aware of whatever it is, change it, fix it, move on, elevate. We all, it's not that we sin and that we're all impure and we're inherently this way. Sorry, guys. It's coming to the awareness that we've all been programmed, we've all been indoctrinated, and it's understanding where the programs are and how some programs actually need to be in our operating system and some are outdated and we need to let it go. AOL dial-up, we don't need that anymore. We don't need that annoying sound. We don't need to be that patient anymore. But some people are still using it as its operating system. Just trying to see what actually. This is the last part to something. In solitude, whatever one has brought into it grows. Also the inner beast. Therefore, solitude is inadvisable for many. Has there been anything filthier on earth so far than desert saints? Around them not only was the devil loose, but also the swine. I read that because that's the part of us that we need to come into an awareness of. That's the hermit's journey, is understanding both sides of yourself. Knowing that little asshole inside of you, that CUNT, see you next Tuesday, that you can't escape human nature, that is a part of being a human, is a 3D model of the duality. You have to have the devil as much as you need the angel. It's the choice of choosing the angel over the devil. But in order for any of this to be presented, you need to have both sides. You need to experience the dark in order to appreciate the light, and you need to have the light to appreciate the dark. You need both in this illusion. And a lot of people don't want to confront the fact that sometimes they are one of those people. That there is a raving devil inside you. You have to confront that. And that's the journey. Is coming into the awareness of both and balancing both. Not ignoring one side. You're going to wake up one day, someone's going to push you over the line. You're going to get pushed. You're going to get triggered. And it's up to you how to respond to it. But at some point, when your life is literally in the balance, what are you going to choose? Oh, hi, sparkle farts and glitter. I love you. As someone points a gun at you. My odds are now stacked even. Thanks. Thanks for playing. You need to know both sides. You need to be rational about it. And you need to learn how to navigate with yourself. You can only do that with inner reflection and understanding both sides of yourself, knowing the darkness, knowing how it is and how it feels to be in depression, how it feels to feel alone. Many of us feel this all the time, and more so than others. Other people can't handle this shit. A lot of people cannot handle, they're codependent on other people. When you don't see the karmic lesson in what is being given to you from whatever the situation is that made you feel alone. I mean, we're never technically alone. But, for me, I need physical kitty cat cuddles. But when too many people are not as independent as they should be. They lean too much on someone else. Where if two independent people can come together and be dependent upon each other, but in a balanced way, where needs are met, things will work out. And that can go in any relationship. When two people could see the middle ground and not say, well, I'm right, you're wrong. It should never come to that. but it does in this life. We need to, again, move it up and mature it. If you can meet somebody in the middle, that's half the battle. That's where a lot of people fail to go because they're too codependent or used to a situation and not willing to change, to upgrade because it's a little too scary. If my life wasn't forced, I'd still be in New York, homeless, and maybe dead. I was forced to move. I was forced to have to confront some very difficult realities most people will never face. And I'm not alone because everybody has their own unique life story that will have very similar attributes to it. What we need to give ourselves credit for is that we did it. We took the leap of faith. We made the changes. We are so much wiser for doing these things. But it had to take something within ourselves and only for ourselves as the outside world triggers us to make those changes. Someone can't make me make a change. I have to make it for myself. Everybody that you put into your life is a catalyst. You know, I know for one thing, Viking's taking way better care of himself. And if that is the lesson that needed to be imparted on him to get him motivated to do better for himself, that makes me so freaking excited and happy for him. It really does. He's taking pride in going to the gym and doing better for himself and focusing on his needs, health. That's beautiful. I'm glad if that was if I was the catalyst for that, I'm happy. Instead of being sad that he's not around, and I don't really see him or talk to him that much anymore. But if that is a result that I triggered in him, hell, that's amazing. I'm proud that I am able to do that for somebody. See how I didn't negate it and I put a positive twist on it instead of feeling sorry for myself that I wasn't good enough for him? And you see how I can go right back into that negative thinking, negative self-speak? Maybe I wasn't good enough for him. I don't know, but I can't make a claim I don't know. But what I do know, because I see the evidence of it, is that he's working on himself. He's doing what he needs to do to better himself. If that was something I triggered in him, great. Now, if we can all do that with our own situations, look how we just matured a negative situation into a positive. I mean, I got two beautiful cats out of it because I need cuddles. Kitty cat pile cuddles. But that's for me, this is my unconditional extreme happiness. This is what melts my heart and makes me melt is cats and having them in my presence. Being able to come home and cuddle and play and have a purpose of unconditional love. That's what I needed. And that was lacking in my life. And I got that fixed. Not everybody wants cats. Maybe it's a dog for you. Maybe it's a job. Whatever it is, what do you unconditionally love? What makes you happy? What brings you to your highest excitement? Because I can tell you what, my mother's heavenly birthday, hysterically cried, screaming, not necessarily evil things at her, but just I needed a vent. And then at the end of the day, when I picked up these babies, happy tears. I needed to purge, and I needed it to come through crying. I needed to get it just out. And I felt so much clearer when I had the happy tears and just the joy when I was looking in their eyes, and like, you're home. Crying in happiness. Just great. I want to do that more often. This is what we need to strive for. And only you are going to be able to do the work to know what that event is that's going to make you overly joyed. Not everybody's a crier. I'm not really a crier either, but it's what needed me to get it out. You know, some people get it out through working out. Yeah, it helps. But for me, I need a good cry. Like, I had a screaming match with my mom. I apologized to her, but I needed to get it out. This is a rough passage. I was trying to avoid it, but we need it. The higher its type, the more rarely a thing succeeds. You higher men here have vow not all failed. Be of good cheer. What does it matter? How much is it still possible? Learn to laugh at yourselves as one must laugh. Is it any wonder that you failed and only half succeeded, being half broken? Is not something thronging and pushing in you, man's future? Man's greatest distance and depth, and what in him is lofty to the stars, his tremendous strength, are not all those frothing against each other in your pot. Is it any wonder that many a pot breaks? Learn to laugh at yourselves as one must laugh. You higher man, how much is still possible? And verily, how much has already succeeded? How rich is the earth in little, good, perfect things, in what has turned out well. Place little, good, perfect things around you. A higher man, their golden ripeness heals the heart. What is perfect teaches hope. I know I didn't read much, but I might end that here. Holy shit. Laugh. Raise your vibrations. What I've been saying in the collective for a long time, and it's a big program, and a lot of us are guilty of it, is that everything is automatically to the negative. Everything is negative, negative, negative. The thought process is automatic negative. It's not even something that you even think about, you're consciously thinking about. It's automatically negative. If I were to write like 5G on a piece of paper, your mind automatically goes to the negative. If I were to put fluoride on a piece of paper, your thoughts are automatically going to the negative. If I put chemtrails, automatic negative. If I put down a bunch of trigger things, okay. The ice didn't melt, Mr. Odin. Negative. Instead of thinking pro and con, we're automatically negative. It's automatic. It just spews out negative. But why do we do that? If you listen to Bashar long enough, what is it that you prefer? What's your preference? I prefer to first speak positively because I was in this negative trap. Everything is negative, 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 negative. Instead of looking at it neutrally, yeah, I feel hurt and sad and upset. Okay. Can we meet in the middle and look at both ends? Can we start with the positives before we hit the negatives? We automatically, as a society, I'm not saying everybody does this, but a vast majority of people do, automatic negative. And I'm not talking about being positive to a fanciful, imaginative world that, yeah, can definitely manifest, but is it practical and is it realistic? Okay, not saying that those potentialities cannot happen. Of course they can. But let's be realistic as a humanity. Coming down to this reality in this consciousness, what makes rational sense? Why do we always go to the negative thoughts? We're programmed to do it. So when you catch yourself starting to 5G, negative, evil, it's going to kill me. Chemtrails, it's going to kill me. This is going to kill me. That, it's going to ruin me. It's negative, negative, negative. You're feeding the frequency of not only fear, you're fearing death, and you're fearing the fact that everything is out to get you. It's paranoia. You got to come into a neutral standpoint. Okay, if you didn't have 5G, you wouldn't even be able to look up half the crap that you're looking up. Just saying. If we could take anything away from our journeys, it's really starting to define our world differently, to react to things differently, to mature our reactions to things differently. It's a very long and arduous project of thinking you did it and then you go right back to the program. That program is going to take a long time to shed, so give yourself compassion and grace. But we have to take what we have an automatic response of negative, and we have to look at it neutrally, if not already positive. Find the positive things first before you jump to a negative. We live in duality, and we have to remember that. And when you cut the food source off to the negative in all capacities, it no longer will affect your life. The catalyst that you wrote in for yourself to trigger you to have a dark night of the soul or to journey into understanding yourself more is not negative. You wrote it. It needed to happen. Laugh. I try to laugh and find something funny to laugh at each and every day. Not only does it raise my vibes, even when I was incapacitated in the darkness, I still made it a mission to find something that would make me laugh and raise my vibration. And I know many of you can do this. So sorry I didn't read that much, but it's a lot of energy and it's a lot going on. So give yourself grace and compassion like I do every day. And try to find happiness within yourself. for me, loving something so unconditional to make me cry in happy tears, knowing that I made a really big impact on their lives, knowing that they're going to make a very positive impact on mine. That's all that's needed for me to be happy and to maintain that state of frequency. So what will maintain your state of frequency? It doesn't need to be an animal. For me, it is the animal. But for many others, it could be whatever you choose it to be. And make sure that you are implementing either having a pet, or if you can't have a pet, find something that will continuously give an equal amount of energy exchange. Even though they can't talk to me, they still can tell me if they're happy or not. And by the looks of it, Mr. Odin is rather happy. His sister, I might have to change the collar. But, you know, I have to give them time. It's a big adjustment for them. So, just makes me so happy and so appreciative and so grateful for people that stepped up and knew that I needed something that I couldn't provide for myself. And I did a, you know, and within doing that, it's also helping the cafe that houses some of these cats, and it helps a rescue who are effortlessly saving animals at, it was ridiculous. So sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding and protective energy. Please do the inner work and go within. Be the physical shoulder for somebody to lean on. Be the lighthouse. Seed your truths. Your role is now. And we got to be strong in order to help others. So can't do that unless you do the work on yourself. And we're all still dealing with stuff. So I hope all of you have a great 888 portal. If you do believe in that, and if you want to celebrate it, great. Just, you know, don't just tag on to somebody's and make it yours. Make sure you're going within first to make sure if it's in alignment with you. Just because it hears and feels fanciful doesn't mean it is. So do the work. And thank you for your support. And thank you, everybody, for all the help that you are giving me. I'm so blessed and thankful. And hope to see you guys on the next one. And co-host number 3 might be joining me a lot more if he's cool with that chair. I'm happy to throw it away. So until the next time, guys, thank you so much. And I'll see you on the next one.